Hey, it's me again. It's still Saturday. And I am in the boxes looking for something which is actually quite symbolic when you think about it. Welcome back to voice notes I send to myself. Basically, my life has been living in the boxes for the last 6 years. And you have no idea how much this story is going to wake people up on so many levels. But anyway, I was looking through all these boxes because I have decided I want to get rid of almost everything. I am trying to move lightly into my new life. No attachment, no unnecessary things following me into the next chapter. And while I was looking for something, I found myself thinking about something I talked about earlier this year. Associative trauma. If you have never heard of it, basically you can associate an object with a memory or an experience. A piece of clothing, a piece of jewelry, a stuffed animal, a pair of shoes, anything. And sometimes the object itself isn't the problem, it's what your brain associates with it. You see something and suddenly you are back there. You remember who you were with, where you were, what happened, what you felt. And sometimes those memories aren't exactly the ones you want to revisit. For example, you can look at a piece of clothing and think, oh, I wore this when I was with that person. I wore this when I was married to my fake husband. And yes, fake husband. We will come back to that one. Very interesting story, you'll see. The shoes. So I was looking through all of these boxes because I wanted to find a pair of shoes. I ended up selling them and they were actually a whole story attached to those shoes. An associative trauma story. But I am not going to tell you that story yet because while I was looking for them, I had some flashbacks and I started thinking about someone. So we are going to change his name because if he ever hears this, he'll know it's him anyway. I am getting better at choosing fake names eventually, I think so. So let's call him Ralph. I met this man when I was younger, and when I say man, I mean he had his life together. He was older than me. I think there was maybe a 10, 11, 12 year age gap, something like that. And well, daddy issues. Let's just be honest. This is real. The whole idea of looking for a father figure in older men because you didn't have the father you needed, that's a conversation in itself. And at that time, I thought I was into older men because they were stable, they were established, they were providers, they were mature, they were this, they were that. No. He's not going to replace the father you never had. You have to understand that. That's not how it works, anyways. Ralph was a Capricorn. And if you know anything about Capricorns, you know what I am talking about. He was giving, he's going to love this if he was giving Bradley Cooper vibes. Not that he looked like Bradley Cooper, he did not. It was more the aura, the charisma, the face, the energy, you know. He knew he was attractive. He wasn't one, two, three. He wasn't I can't say this. I can't say it. Let's try. He wasn't particularly tall. And if you know me, you know I like very tall men. Sorry, not sorry. There is nothing I can do about it. Anyway, I met this guy and I kid you not, I thought, wow. Physically, obviously, he was attractive, but then we started talking and this is where it got weird. because what was supposed to be one of those dates that lasts an hour turned into 7 hours, 8 hours. I don't even remember, and I will probably tell you the full story on the dating show, not here. But the point is, we talked a lot. Too deep. I don't fear people, I really don't, but this guy, I don't know. The mental connection was intense. And for me to say that, that's saying something. I am a very deep person. I need a soul connection before anything else. But with him, I remember thinking, this is too much. Why are we on the same mental level? Why is this conversation going this deep? It was almost uncomfortable. Like I wanted to reject it because it was too good. And normally when you find that kind of connection, you are like, oh my God, amazing. But I was like, no, what's happening? And that's when I started thinking, oh my God, is this the man of my life? Not literally, I wasn't planning our wedding, but it was giving stability. He was divorced, he had children, he had a life, he was established, and he felt like an adult, a proper adult. And I think that was the part of what attracted me, because at that point in my life, stability was something I desperately needed, and this is exactly the problem. If you need something so bad like stability, you know it's not for you because you are not aligned on this level. And yes, you can find someone and be in a bad place, like for instance financially, but it was not just this. I was not healed, and this is more the part where I knew without knowing it was not going to happen because I was not healed, and therefore it was not the right moment for me to enter any kind of relationship. Anyways, I looked at him and I thought, this is it. This is the man of my life. Obviously, no. But that's how it felt at the time. Life is a video game. And then I think about who I was back then, who I am now, and honestly, life is a video game, you guys. It really is. Because I should never have reached this level. I mean that. And somehow I am here, and I think I need to give myself some grace for that. The woman I am now is not the girl, I should say, I was when I met Ralph. Not even close. And that's actually one of the beautiful things about healing. You look back and realize, oh, I don't think like that anymore. I don't accept that anymore. I wouldn't do that anymore. And that's growth. I have a question. So, Ralph, I am not looking for closure. It's not like, you know. But I caught myself thinking, I would love to know how genuine you actually were. Because there is a connection with you know who. And I've always wondered, was any of it real? It's not like we were together. We weren't in some relationship. But we spent hours talking. And that's an insight for you guys. If a Capricorn man is calling you for hours, either he thinks you are his free therapist, which you should not be, or he likes you because they don't really have time. They don't have time for you. And I don't have time for you if you have the ref. And honestly, I think that's true of men in general. But maybe I am projecting because you guys, people love talking to me. I think that's the real problem. Even when my life was Let's just say my life was very, very tiny at that point. People still wanted to talk to me. So, Ralph, if you ever hear this, I don't need closure, but if one day you ever want to tell me something, let it be this. Were you ever real? Or was you know who involved? Was someone asking you to play a role? Was there something else going on? Because I don't believe you can fake something to that extent, not completely, at least. But if someone else was involved, if there was another layer to it, then I can understand how it could have happened. So, if you ever listen to this, you'll know it's you. You will absolutely know it's you. I told you I might put you in my book, so you knew this was coming. But seriously, if you ever want to give me that answer, I would appreciate it. I don't particularly like people, and somehow I spent hours talking to you, counseling you, giving you advice, basically being your free therapist. And I don't regret it. I don't. Because I learned something. I learned that I was actually good at it. And that's the funny thing about being young and inexperienced. And coming from a background where you haven't been taught to value yourself properly, you give everything away for free. Your time, your ideas, your insights, your emotional intelligence, your ability to see patterns, and then one day you wake up and think, wait, I should actually be charging for this. Because apparently, I was a dating coach. I just didn't know it yet. Healing is a bliss. And that's the funny thing about healing. You look back at situations that once felt like hell, and eventually you can extract something from them, a lesson, a skill, a boundary, a business, a story, a book, a podcast, who knows? So yes, healing is a bliss. The journey is a bliss, and I think we have to learn to be grateful for the journey. Even when the journey was, for people like me, hell on earth. Because maybe after hell on earth, there really can be heaven on earth. Maybe that's the next level. Maybe that's where I am going. So, Ralph, if you ever have something to say, this is your opportunity. Let it be this, and I will talk to you in another voice note I send to myself.